All right, welcome. We are midway through week 5, and that brings us to yet another practice exercise. We're keeping the theme, we're keeping going with shapes, we're keeping going with the building blocks, and this time it is cones. Very related to cylinders, cones are another shape that makes up a lot of different objects. And so today we want to improve our shape and form skills by drawing a few cones and then finishing off with a fun little drawing of an ice cream cone. Why not? I thought it would be fun. And I think that's where we're at for the day. So, a general practice in drawing cones: create yourself two diagonal lines to create a V shape like the sides of a triangle, and then draw the oval to fit inside the lines, connecting them. Now, I went completely backwards on that. That is colloquially how you are supposed to draw a cone, but I like to draw my ovals first and then fill in the rest. I'm not saying that's the right practice or the right policy here, but it's just a personal preference of mine. I think if you go back and forth, find what you like the best. That's probably going to be the best practice or the best policy here. I did a little bit random as well, right? So I went ahead and drew a bunch of different ovals on the page, and then I went and filled them in. I wanted these to be bold, I wanted these to be bright, but I also wanted these to be very quick. Only wanted to spend about 10 minutes on this process, and I wanted to be using varied medium. I wanted to go ahead and do some impression work with the pen. I wanted to do some actual shading with the pencil, but I didn't want to go in and do any stipple shading. I didn't want to go in and use something that would require a blending nub or whatever you happen to call that particular item. So then I wanted to focus on, for more than half of my 10 to 15 minutes that I would spend drawing this, I wanted to go ahead and focus on an ice cream cone. And in this, I wanted to really kind of flex my sketching or outlining process here. And so as you see me kind of dive into that ice cream cone, you see me go really light. And I was honestly kind of proud of this overall from a practice. I sketched in the overall form. I really thought about proportions. I really thought about how I would want that to look. And then I went in and I added these details here. So even as you see me add the cracks and everything in the waffling of the cone, I spent quite a bit of time just going in there and feeling that level of detail, feeling what I wanted the cone to look like. I have these memories of going to Brahms with my family as a kid, and they had this particular style of waffle cone that kind of went up part way and then had this additional scoop to it and form factor to it. And so that's something I kind of added and focused on here. I was really pleased with it. Then we went up to the ice cream portion and just added a bit of detail there. I didn't have a lot of time to add too much texture in the ice cream, as I did want to keep this at the 15-minute mark that I suggested. But overall, I had a lot of fun with this one. I think if I were to really point out anything that I felt like I struggled with in this one, it's that when you're drawing a cone, having the light on the inside, if it's a hollow cone, is something that I still grasp poorly, and I struggle with a little bit more than I expected to. I also didn't do any with a flat surface at the top, and I think it would have been a viable area of practice to have kind of a cone with a flat bottom or a solid bottom. And so those are the things that I would have liked to have added, but hindsight is 2020. We can practice those things in the future. And for the rest of the week, we're going to be doing something a little bit conical in nature because we will be drawing some cedar trees in the next video, and honestly, I'm very excited about that. So I'll see you in the next video, and if you've made it this far, thank you so much. Drop me a like, leave me a subscription, or a comment just telling me what I could do differently, better, whatever it happens to be. If you're on your own sketchbook journey, enjoy it. I'll see you next week.